So we got assigned this case of 3 children. They were removed from their parents' home due to drug exposure, due to unsanitary home, due to, I think mom and dad both had some criminal charges pending in other courts. We appointed a CASA volunteer to the case a week or so later, and we appointed Miss Pat as their CASA. And I remember Miss Pat coming to the office and us kind of talking through the case with her, and we were like, look, Judge just wants to make sure that these kids are in a safe foster home, that they're getting their needs met.
The first visit that I had with the 3 children, it was the twin boys, and they were almost to be 2, and the little girl was 3. I was upset when I left there, no doubt. Foster homes are wonderful, but that is, one of the things that CASA does, and we just, there to check on the children to make sure that all their needs are being met. And I didn't feel like, as a CASA volunteer, that the children's needs were being met. They were in a double-wide trailer, and of course there was a family there, the foster mother and father, and they had a child, and then they had 2 other foster children there, and then they had these 3 children. So about 6 months after I had gotten this case, I went to visit the twin, it was a boy and a girl, twins, that were born in November, and at this time they were probably 5 months old. Developmentally, they were delayed. I'm just, by holding them, how alert they were, or responsive to, a voice. You could see that they weren't interacting with them a lot. So I came back and, told the judge about my visit there, that they were being taken care of and their needs were being met, but, their basic needs. Food, shelter, but I didn't feel like that they were being challenged enough to develop. The courts had moved those children, the babies, to the Larsen Wells, to Amanda and Brian Larsen Wells, to their home, and I think they'd been there maybe a week. But it was just so awesome to see those babies and how they just looked so alive. I knew when I went in there, and I came out and I called my director at CASA, and I told her, I said, this is where these children are supposed to be. This is where they're supposed to be. This is their home.
The DCS said that they had twins that they needed placement for just respite, and we thought that we would go ahead and take that placement.
I asked the DCS representative that came by, tell us more about the story of these kids. And she mentioned that the 2 babies had 3 older siblings. She couldn't tell me ages or specifics, but she could say that. And I said, well, what would be the option as far as, like, if later the children came open for adoption? And she said, if you wanted to adopt the children, you would have to be willing to open your home to all 5. Which Amanda and I think looked at each other and were like, oh, okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, so this isn't going to work out.
But the children were with us for 10 days, 30 days, 60 days, and then 90 days. And it got to the point where clearly the children had bonded to us. We bonded to them, I think, within the first night.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick. And the idea of them leaving our home was almost unthinkable.
Patrick was someone who would listen to me and help me navigate court, help understand what was going on, speak for the kids there, but also be there for us. She, came and saw our home and
visited the kids at their daycare.
Yeah.
Spoke with the kids. She was very cautious and open to their fears and things that they were worried about, and would help us to understand.
I don't think that our children would be our children right now without CASA. And that makes me really happy that we had a CASA, but it makes me really scared for people who don't have a CASA volunteer. We would not be the family we are, and our kids would not have the life they have right now. If it weren't for somebody telling the court and telling DCS and telling anyone who they could tell that this was the best placement for them.
You know, as a little girl, you have dreams of having fairy tale endings to everything. So cases like the Larsen Wells children are what keep us going every day at CASA. That's what keeps us hopeful.
I support.
And I support.
I support Madison County CASA because I am for the child.
I am for the child.
I am for the child. For our kids.